Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378 or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today. The newest book is here, Closer to the Church, the debut novel by author and former mayor Louis Lee Singh. Available at all the home store branches, Barataria, West Mall, Shogunas and C3 San Fernando. Paper-based bookshop 10 Nook Avenue St. Anne's, WESN 30A Gattaca Street Woodbrook, Metropolitan Bookshop Ariapita Avenue Woodbrook, and all RIK bookstores nationwide. Available online as paperback on Amazon.com and Kindle for e-readers. For more info, call 628-5835 or 389-6504. Also available from author Louis Lee Singh, I Used to Live in Heaven, Letters to My Granddaughters, and Local Government in Trinidad, Conspiracy Against the People.
What's the best way to grab the attention of viewers?
Please exercise more patience. You have to be kidding me.
Doing what we do best. I'll say at the very least it's a conspiracy of laziness against the people.
Join me, Keaton Shaw.
And me, Sean Michael Small, for Talking Point.
Weekdays from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
We go in-depth on the trending issues and engage the most controversial newsmakers
as we get them to account to the people for their actions.
You can't go to the government with nothing. You can't go to cabinet with an empty hand, with a wish.
I'm glad that we're having this a sober, mature discussion.
In the present situation, I expect a continuation of the chaos.
Join us for the discussion, Mondays to Fridays,
only on WESN,
the content capital.
Is it politics? What is it? Is it that nobody cares about sports?
The kind of support that sport used to get in the past is no longer here.
The thing is, taking a knee doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're doing on.
Right.
Taking a knee along with other stuff.
Samantha, what are you looking forward to when you return home to Trinidad and Tobago after winning the title?
Thank you very much for speaking it into existence.
Is there no pressure on Nicholas Ball?
It makes me more motivated to work hard and to go out there and rep the white and black.
Why are we sending a team to the Winter Olympics?
There are a number of Trinbagonians who are in the diaspora and have grown up in winter sport. It's an opportunity that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee will not close the door on.
I also believe in the players that we have. Once you can motivate the players, you can get the best out of them.
Join me, Dr. Nalini Kokaram, on What's Up Doc, where we discuss all your burning questions concerning health.
Trinidad and Tobago is among one of the highest risk group of patients that develop this form of genetic breast cancer.
What I'd like to take home from a short interview like this, screening. You must screen.
Because it's silent.
It's silent.
Yeah.
And because it's silent, you don't know it's there.
What's Up Doc, every Tuesday and Thursday on WESN, Content Capital.
Join me, Sule A. Joseph, as I delve into the day-to-day psychological issues plaguing our society. We will discuss behaviors that encompass the biological influences, social pressures, and environmental factors that affect how you think, act, and feel. Sight, Thursdays at 11:30 a.m., only on WESN, Content Capital.
I am Rondell Donowa, attorney at law and host of Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Strictly Legal is a legal program geared towards informing you, the public, of your legal rights, responsibilities, and remedies. So be viewing Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m.
The issue, the continued rise in the price of flour and its impact on the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. How should we go about it? I want to ask you, what has been revealed to you about the state of vulnerability in the country because of this exercise and because of what we're going through? Is the government losing the war on the vaccine front?
The discussion should revolve around the common good for the greatest number of people in Trinidad and Tobago.
How do we inculcate a sense of respect and regard for people who may not be of your own political ilk or persuasion?
The communities are now being used by political opportunists. So
when the tables are turned, it's the same way. Okay, this has been 10 questions. I'm Andy Johnson, and we'll see you next time.
WESN.
Hello there and welcome to AM Prime on WESN Content Capital. I'm Keaton Shaw. Thank you very much for joining me for this edition of the program. First conversation this morning focuses on the foreign exchange shortage here in TNT. Now, if you've had the unfortunate need to stand in a line in any banking or financial institution to get as much as $200 US per day, you will be very much aware as per the situation here in TNT. However, though there have been some that are quite vocal that there is a foreign exchange crisis, that has been denied by the Minister of Finance, who indicated that we're not in crisis mode as yet. There's just a shortage because the supply does not meet the demands. There's a lot more to this, of course, but an individual who has been vocal of this matter and has written many articles in the newspapers is a Member of Parliament for Mayaro, Mr. Rushton Parry, and he joins us virtually this morning. Hello, sir, and welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to you and your viewers. Thank you for having me this morning.
Thank you so much for joining me on the program. Let's start by trying to define the situation that TNT is currently in. According to the Minister of Finance, as well as economist Dr. Terence Farrell, they both indicated that we're not necessarily in a crisis. TNT is just facing a situation where demand outweighs supply. Dr. Farrell arguing that our reserves, as well as our Heritage and Stabilization Fund, are quite healthy. On the other hand, you have those who are suggesting we are in a crisis, given the difficulty in acquiring foreign exchange on a daily basis. So exactly what situation do we find ourselves in?
Well, both the finance minister and Dr. Farrell is playing semantics. You know, it's a play on words. So academically, so there is an academic look at the numbers. The academic look states quite clearly between the HSF and the foreign reserves, there is about $12 billion US. And there is some US dollars that is sitting in the deposits of commercial banks, which the government has access to if they need it. But outside of the academic look, and you listen to what's happening on the ground, as you so described it a little while ago, you can't get $200 walking into a commercial bank. It's extremely difficult. For persons wanting to go on vacation with their families, you have to provide tickets, the plane tickets, and you know there is a huge runaround and time delay in accessing US. If you were to focus on the challenges that small and micro enterprises are having, most businesses will tell you that the banks cannot facilitate you with foreign currency to pay your vendors. So what's happened over the years? more specifically over the last 2 or 3 years, the banks have pushed credit cards into the hands of small business owners. Now, if you have to pay 30,000 US a month on a cycle for some sort of service, then it means with a limit of 3,000 per card, you are saddled with 3 credit cards in order to find $9,000 to pay your vendors on a monthly cycle. But understand this, credit cards come with an additional charge. And based on your overall credit position, you may pay upwards of 24% interest on credit cards. So when you have SMEs that are really trying their best to survive in a post-COVID world, the challenge of getting the US and then be able to purchase the power of the US on credit cards, that comes with an additional cost. When you look at the overall environment where there is a black market trade of US currency, anywhere between $7.50 and $9. Now, if that is not a crisis, I don't know what is. I have had parents coming to me and saying, MP, can you help me get some US dollars? Because I'm having difficulty getting money to transfer to my child who is studying away. So when you lump all of that together and you have this disruption in business, in the way how families operate when they have to travel, it is indeed a crisis, and more so from the business level. So, I mean, you can have an academic look with the numbers, or you can have an anecdotal look in terms of what's happening in business. And I know personally of a few businesses that have had to close their operations because of the difficulty in getting the volume of US that is required on a sustained basis. And that is where our challenge lies right now.
Another aspect, as you've mentioned, is the rationing of foreign exchange on a daily basis by commercial banks. Even the decrease in credit card limits and the availability of hard cash for customers and clients. That being said, though, these measures, which seem more reactive than proactive on the banking aspect, does that expose in any way vulnerabilities of the banking sector and risk management?
No, I don't think so. I think the banks are looking at where can I get the best value for my US currency. The central bank injects about 50 million US dollars every 2 weeks into the banking system. So the commercial banks are getting about 100 million US dollars a month from central bank in terms of facilitating, assisting the banks. Now, I find it strange because when you look at the numbers, sometimes the banks are in surplus, and yet you have challenged to get $200 from the banks. Now, it brings me to speculate a bit as well. Is the banks using its US currency somewhere else that can pitch it a higher return? Because there are US deposits that the banks invest in from time to time. Do we have a US shortage in the country? Yes. We are not earning as much US currency that we used to 10 years ago. So we can gerrymander the banking system. We can look at updating a 30-year-old forex system that is antiquated. But if we don't solve the root problem of the government's inability to find new sources of foreign direct investment, well, then we have an input shortage of US currency into our system. So now the play on managing, on rationing comes up. So, I mean, in an environment where we have a shortage, some focus has to be made. Now, why is SMEs important in this? SMEs are the backbone of economies worldwide. Family business, small micro enterprises. When you look at the impact of SMEs in communities, rural communities like Mayaro, Rio Claro Beach, it is small and micro enterprises that keep communities going. You know, they offer credit facilities, they invest in football clubs and cricket clubs and so on. And when these SMEs cannot get the forex that they require sufficiently to purchase the goods that they wish to resell, then that puts pressure on these SMEs. So the demand has been for the Minister of Finance to come up with a creative way of guaranteeing that the SMEs have some sort of fixed access to U.S. currency in order to facilitate the continuance of business. Because when SMEs close down, it adds to the unemployment, more so the impact heavily in rural communities. And that's why I am extremely vocal when coming to, getting access to, for SMEs to get more adequate access to U.S. currency.
Well, SME certainly has been a focal point, especially following the COVID-19 pandemic. Just before the pandemic, there was an estimated 20,000 SMEs employing over 200,000 individuals here in TNT. And even such estimates are said to be a lot more than that. And that's just a rough estimate. However, in the Minister of Finance's budget last October, he indicated or he made assurances to try and stabilize and strengthen the foreign exchange markets. If I'm not mistaken, that's verbatim on the part of the Minister of Finance. But also he gave some assurances to create and establish the most appropriate policy for allocation, management and distribution of foreign currency. Yes, you have been very vocal about the issues associated with SMEs. In that sense, given what the Minister of Finance presented last October versus what we're seeing, it's early February 2024, things don't necessarily happen overnight, but are you of the opinion that there is a disconnect between the Ministry of Finance, the Minister of Finance, and the business community, in particular SMEs here in Trinidad and Tobago?
No, I don't think there is a disconnect. I think a lot of conversations are happening. I think the business chambers are on the minister's heel in terms of finding a way to move forward. Now, if I were to ask you to just reflect on what the minister has done over the last couple of years with regards to the manufacturing sector, and using the Exim Bank as a facilitator for certain manufacturers who are invested in export markets, that they have some preferential access to U.S. currency. That I understand from the manufacturers is working well. So the question is, since Exim Bank seems to be doing a decent job at managing its forex in terms of its distribution, how about creating a window for SMEs to access fixed amount of foreign currency through Exim Bank as well? Now, I am also suggesting, can Exim Bank put a desk in certain commercial banks in key regional areas? Because quite frankly, the commercial banks have done a very bad job. They've done a very bad job in terms of managing forex to the general public and SMEs. Can Exim Bank set up a desk? So, for instance, we have Mayara as a constituency. Rio Claro is our central financial district. So we have 2 commercial banks there. What if Exim Bank sets up a desk in one of the banks in Rio Claro, so SMEs can go to the banks right there instead of having to come to Port of Spain? As long as SMEs meet the fiduciary requirements, they have the capacity to repay the loan, then they should have access to currency. So, for instance, if a auto parts vendor, supplier, needs 30,000 or 40,000 US a month to pay for goods, then he makes an application at the Exim Bank desk in the local commercial bank in his area. And then he shows or creates some sort of verification that this is the amount of money I need. And then in 1 year, in 6 months or 1 year intervals, he gets a guarantee. And then obviously the bank will do its assessment to make sure that the business has the ability to repay the loan. We have to do something. Doing nothing is not an option. And the minister has to get very creative going forward, because we are in crunch time. While the semantics around the unemployment rate, you're talking about 3.5% or 4% somewhere, which academically means full employment. The reality on the ground, it's not so. You have much more persons out of jobs today. I treat that 4% as just an academic number in terms of full employment. A perfect example, while the national rate of unemployment is about 4%, according to the CSO, Mayaro as a constituency, the unemployment rate is 14.5%. So when you look at that, you can see the impact of the amount of people out of jobs. So the numbers is an issue. We can't afford for SMEs to go under. We need all our SMEs to be able to get the foreign exchange that they need to remain functional, to keep in business, to hold on to the employment, because that impacts communities, more so a heavy impact on rural communities. So as I said, you know, the minister, I don't think there's a disconnect to answer your question. I think he's dragging his foot. I know a lot of conversations is happening between the business associations and the minister. It's just taking too long. And I mean, all we could do is urge the minister to expedite whatever in terms of his mandate that he made, his promise that he made in October last year. He must execute it. And don't waste time, because it's impacting business.
Well, how does it also affect, in two ways, the value of our currency, be it the TT dollar, as well as even trade relationships? Most recently, we heard of a situation in Guyana where they're saying, you know, businessmen from Trinidad and Tobago were coming to Guyana and purchasing US dollars. You know, it's flooding our banking system with TT dollars. We don't necessarily want any more of that. I've been told of similar instances happening in Grenada and other Caribbean islands. So what does that speak to our relationship with these other islands in the Caribbean and the value of our dollar?
I mean, besides Guyana, just recently Jamaica put a halt on accepting TT dollars as well. Now, while that is not the end of the world, it really speaks to a larger problem that if our businessmen cannot get the US currency that they require here, they are now forced to set up operations on other islands where they can generate business, get US currency, which is much more easier, and then repatriate it back home. Now, that is the option that businesses have. But we have to solve the problem here. We're not going to solve the problem by taking US currency out of Guyana, Jamaica, Barbados, Grenada, and bringing it here. Because as you said, it really brings a trust issue, a relationship issue, a trade issue. When these banks are flush, they're going to stop taking the money at the end of the day. Now, you know, coming back to Trinidad and Tobago a bit, you talk about the value of the currency. There are many. I've heard a lot of economists talk about devaluing the dollar and so on. We have to get creative beyond that. I do not think our country, our system, I don't think we can afford the impact of a devaluation in terms of stabilizing. I think we have to be able to fix the problem at the core. We have been unable to secure any major substantial foreign direct investment in 8 years under this administration. None. We have had more capital flight out of Trinidad and Tobago under this administration. For some reason, investors are passing us straight, and the government continues to bank on this one-trick pony called oil and gas. And while we do have a future, we do have an investment future for the next 30 or 40 years in fossil fuel, I do not doubt that. We cannot remain a one-trick pony. We have to find other sources. How do we use digital transformation? We have a fantastic cadre of young people in this country, very educated. We are graduating folks from the University of the West Indies, UTT, but we have no investment in digital transformation, very little investment. We have a huge part of our manufacturing sector that is untouched, and you know, unless we solve the problem at the core, we will continue to have these calls for devaluation. We'll continue to have business people moving out, and here's the risk we run. If these business people who are leaving, and the people who are leaving is not the SMEs, these are the bigger players who are capital intensive, and if they go to Guyana and they go to other areas in the Caribbean and they move equipment and people and they are happier over there, well, then they shut up operations here in Trinidad and Tobago. We have brain drain. We have sale of assets cheaply because they want to get out. We have collapse in real estate when prices start to collapse. So we are hovering, we are teetering on some very critical issues that will stem if we don't start to work towards solving this forex availability crisis. Let's put it that way. The forex availability crisis, because as I said, academically, Dr. Farrell and the minister may not be wrong. We do have foreign currency sitting in certain accounts. But the availability is where the crisis is, because it upsets the daily operations of business and the daily life of a lot of people.
And Dr. Farrell did acknowledge the declining trends in our reserves, given that, of course, the supply is not necessarily meeting demand at this point. But there's been no indication that such trends or trajectory would actually shift to a positive anytime soon. And I know you mentioned also our dependence on energy exports, and that market in itself is quite vulnerable. Even if we're investing in energy over the next 30 years, TNT is very much in the pathway of vulnerable market shifts globally due to energy exports. So given all that you've mentioned in the conversation this morning, even indicating that there's not necessarily a disconnect, but a lag, it seems as though the individuals who can make a difference are dragging their feet. Is there, given all the actions or inactions, there's a lack of sustainable policy or any sense of direction as per this situation here in TNT? And as you said, it's leading to a foreign exchange availability crisis.
Yeah, I mean, look, you have to look at the track record of this administration. If you can identify one thing in this country that has improved in 8 years, well, I will accept that. Nothing has improved. The government continues to execute failed policies in health, in national security, in trade and investment. Are they spending money in these areas? Absolutely. So they're spending 8 billion, 9 billion, but are we getting the returns for it? You know, so the key thing here, if we don't solve our ease of doing business problems, no investor wants to come into Trinidad, because there's a key issue. The crime issue, the runaway crime issue, is preventing investors from even looking at bringing their people here in Trinidad and Tobago. We have issues with our Data Protection Act, cybercrime, the lack of cybercrime security. How do we protect the investors' proprietary and top secret information if they come to operate in Trinidad and Tobago? Case in the judiciary takes years. Now, when you put all of this together, foreign direct investors are hesitant to come and put their capital here. And without that investment, we will not solve the root of the problem. We'll be trying to patch the symptoms month after month after month, come to Parliament, pass legislation to do all sorts of things. But the core here, how do we increase the stock of foreign exchange? It is by foreign direct investment. We need to get more players. We need to look at our offshore assets. We need to look at our deep sea exploration capacity, review the fiscal measures. You know, encourage boards of multinational companies to be interested in coming into Trinidad and Tobago waters to invest in deep sea exploration, deep water exploration for oil and gas. We're competing with green energy worldwide. So boards are cutting down on their spend as well. So solving the problem really requires government policy in terms of encouraging new foreign direct investment. Taxing people, property tax will not solve the problem. Finding new measures of revenue that has no, doesn't come from what you call the productive industry, then that is not going to solve the problem. So policy direction, the government has failed. Executing of the policies, the one or two that seems to be working well, that too is a problem. I mean, up to today, you still have Mayaro without a fire station. We're still having water issues in the constituency. While there are measures that are being put in place, it's just taking too long. The decisions are taking too long sitting in cabinet, and we are at crunch time. So all of that is reflective on what is happening in terms of the foreign exchange management. And if we don't look at the central bank, system, which is about 30, 32 years old, modernize it, then we'll continue to have this problem going forward.
Well, Mr. Parry, I want to thank you very much for your time this morning, for making yourself available for this conversation. And as I said, it's just the second month of the year. But given that you have been quite vocal about SMEs over the last 3-4 years, there is indeed more avenues for further discussions in time to come. Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Take care.
All the best. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I said at the beginning of the program, if you've had the misfortune of having to line up at any institution, financial institution, to get as much as 200 US a day, that's the maximum. I've been told you're getting only 100 US in many instances, but you would be very much aware as per the reality of the situation on the ground. So I do hope that the Minister of Finance, the Cabinet, comes through with sustainable policies and strategies to address this situation as it relates to foreign exchange availability here in Trinidad and Tobago. We take a break here on AM Prime. When we return, well, Vinci Mass, it's just a couple months away, and though we're celebrating our carnival in the next week, well, celebrations have already begun. Why end it there when we could head across to Vinci Mass? We'll be right back after this.
Like many others trying to save on Carnival, Gabby thought she should go for 50% off makeup.
What about the other side? Well, Daisy 50% off offer. So you know.
No makeup artist we don't know. What we do know is the savviest savings for Carnival are at KFC. Get a Jab Jab box, 1-piece chicken, 1 regular fries, and a biscuit for only $25.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378 or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Is it politics? What is it that nobody cares about sports?
The kind of support that sport used to get in the past is no longer here.
The thing is, taking a knee doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're doing nowadays.
Right.
Taking a knee along with other stuff.
Samantha, what are you looking forward to when you return home to Trinidad and Tobago after winning the title?
Thank you very much for speaking it into existence.
Is there no pressure on Nicholas Ball?
It makes me more motivated to work hard and to go out there and rep the red, white and black.
Why are we sending a team to the Winter Olympics?
There are a number of Trinbagonians who are in the diaspora and have grown up in winter sport. It's an opportunity that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee will not close the door on.
I also believe in the players that we have. Once you can motivate the players, you can get the best out of them.
Join me, Dr. Nalini Kokram, on What's Up Doc, where we discuss all your burning questions concerning health.
Trinidad and Tobago is among one of the highest risk group of patients that develop this form of genetic breast cancer.
What I'd like to take home from a short interview like this, screening. You must screen.
Because it's silent.
It's silent.
Yeah.
And because it's silent, you don't know it's there.
What's Up Doc, every Tuesday and Thursday on WESN, Content Capital.
Welcome back to AM Prime, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us this morning. Vinci Mas 2024 takes place from June 28th to July 9th. It's just a couple months away. There is a contingent currently in Trinidad and Tobago who are participating in TNT's Carnival celebrations, but they're also here to promote Vinci Mas. And I'm very pleased that one of those individuals joins me on set this morning to speak about the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. Mr. Esworth Roberts, who's the Marketing and Development Officer of the Carnival Development Corporation for Vinci Mas 2024. Is right here in studio. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here. Certainly, it's always a great opportunity for me to share the good news about Vinci Mas.
Well, thanks for joining me. Vinci Mas 2024, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. What makes Vinci Mas the hottest carnival in the Caribbean?
Well, for anyone who would have experienced Vinci Mas in the past, they will tell you about the different ways in which we party. We have a lot of energy. And the vibe. That's one of the main sellers of Vinci Mas, the energy and the vibe. We are great with music as well. You're quite familiar with a number of our artists, the Skinny Fabulous, the Problem Child, James D.P., Wetty Beats, etc., and the list goes on. And even for the veterans who made their contributions in the past, like the Beckett, Scorcher, Winston, so on and so forth. I recall many years ago, Scorcher had a song called Party Fever that played from one carnival straight into the next. Right, and he is considered a veteran today, but now we still have the Skinnies and the Problem Child that's doing their thing. Just as we have the Trini artists also, you know, playing an active part in Vinci Mas, because promoters, the CDC, we will bring the Trini artists to St. Vincent for Carnival. And that is what we really need, the Caribbean integration in terms of the music and people being able to travel around to enjoy carnivals in the different territories.
And there also seems to be a great connect between St. Vincent and Grenadines and TNT, as you've just described. Yes. You know, that relationship for carnival celebrations. Yeah. But there's a contingent in TNT that's pushing Vinci Mas during our celebrations taking place next week, which is incredible as well. So tell me what activities or events does the contingent have?
We basically, it's a two-man team. The contingent, really two persons we have that will be doing marketing. But we have other persons from who are part of the Vinci Mas brand that are in Trinidad. They're here to do their own little lime and so on. But two of us are responsible for marketing and so on. And we have a number of different things lined up, including an activation at Brunch and Soca, which is an all-inclusive party, which will be held on Carnival Sunday the 11th. And that party, at that party, we're going to have a booth setup where we're going to have Vinci Mas presence. We're going to be able to give away, we'll be giving away little things to patrons as they enter, and we'll be having brand ambassadors who will interact with the patrons and so forth about Vinci Mas. We'll be pushing our QR code, which will take persons directly to the website, the Instagram or Facebook page of Vinci Mass, etc. And as I mentioned it, let me just give the information one time. The website is www.vincimass.vc. Vinci Mass as one word, .vc. For Facebook, it's one word, Vinci Mass. And for Instagram, it's Vinci_Mass. And the telephone number for Carnival Development Corporation in St. Vincent is 784-725-80. 784-725-457-2580.
I think they've sent a two-man team as you know, to promote Vinci Mass. You're having all the fun.
Well, what happened last year and what has happened so far for this year is that, well, I came in on Monday night. And I didn't go out Monday night because I had all the interviews Tuesday morning. I really didn't go to a party last night because I have all the interview this morning. I have all the interview tomorrow morning. So I kind of have to limit my movements and my personal time until I have a little space where I don't have to get up early in the morning because I don't want to miss any of my interviews or any promotional work that I have to do.
No, man. Well, thank you very much for coming and making yourself available this morning.
Yeah.
But apart from Brunch and Soca on Sunday, you guys are also setting up a booth, if I'm not mistaken, on Aripita Avenue.
Yes, we'll be doing a booth on Aripita Avenue, and at that booth will be a similar operation to what we do at Brunch and Soca. This time now, you know, the Aripita Avenue is quite busy on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. A lot of persons passing there, so it's a strategic location for us to do that promotion. We'll also be giving out items, for, sampling products from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We'll also be pushing the ICC World Cup cricket that's scheduled for St. Vincent, because currently we are pushing the Comfort Cricket Stay for Carnival, because we have ICC World Cup cricket matches that will be held on the brink of Vinci Mass. So the idea is for persons to come for cricket and stay for Carnival. So we'll be having promotion geared towards that as well. We'll be raffling a ticket up there, for example. One of the patrons visiting our booth will be able to win a trip to St. Vincent for Vinci Mass. Once you come and you activate the QR code, you scan the QR code, etc., you give us your information, you'll be in for a raffle. So somebody going to be winning a ticket, compliments Caribbean Airlines.
So no inside favors here, right?
Show up at the booth, you might be a winner. Once you show up. Yeah. And I just want to say that Vinci Mass generally, we are able to maintain our traditional mass along with the modern mass, because we notice the trend now is that people are gravitating to it. It's becoming more commercialized.
Yeah.
So we have that commercialization taking place in St. Vincent as well. But despite that, we're able to maintain having a lot of the traditional elements of Carnival. So the Carnival Development Corporation, which is similar to the NCC in Trinidad, we are responsible for ensuring that there's Panorama, there's Calypso, Monarch Competition, Junior Calypso, Junior Soca. We have an event called Evo, which is a party that it's called Evo because it deals with the evolution of music. So you have artists of the previous era coming in to perform with artists of the current trending songs and so on. This is not a show per se. You have live band, live artists, etc., but it's really a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an all-white party.
But there are many elements to Vinci Mass.
Yes, many elements. The promoters, we have a number of promoters, and we often tell people what we sell for Vinci Mass is not just the CDC events. The CDC events combined with the promoters' events, that's what encompasses Vinci Mass. So we have a lot of the all-inclusive. Similarly, in terms of the Mass Carnival Tuesday, we have all-inclusive bands, and we have bands which are not all-inclusive, so the price range varies. So we cater for all persons of the different spectrum.
There's something for everyone.
Something for everybody.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
I got the opportunity to look at your website, and I mean, to be very honest with you, vincimass.vc, it's so well structured and it's so easy to get information on the website alone. And I was able to go through some of the events. I saw Evo as well, the night of Raga Soca.
Yes.
Raga Soca, man.
Right. Raga Soca is a combination. This is a brand that we developed in St. Vincent. It started many years ago with Beckett by putting dancehall artists to rap in certain parts of his soca song. So then we start fusing the beats of soca and reggae. So we call it Raga Soca, which is similar to your groovy. You call it groovy, but St. Vincent's Raga Soca is that fusion of
I
reggae and soca music.
Love Raga. So when I saw the event Evo Raga Soca, I was like, instantly it hit me.
Yeah, well, last year we did it as Evo Raga Soca. We previously were doing just Evo, and Raga Soca was staged along with Soca Monarch. So you had on Soca Monarch night, you had the Raga competition, and then the Soca, which you call Power Soca competition, you know, on one night. Last year we decided to do something different, separate the Raga Soca and put it with the Evo, and so on, and did the Soca by itself, Soca Monarch finals. But this year, we will be reverting to put back Raga Soca with the Soca Monarch. I mean, you don't know how things will work unless you try it. We tried, we had some little challenges, and we decided that we will put it back with Soca Monarch. So Evo will be by itself, just the party.
And then last year as well, you had Steel and Glitter.
Yes, Steel and Glitter is an annual event. I would like to I think persons are always intrigued with the name of the show. Yeah. Now, we have mass competition. Each band are entitled to provide or enter in competition a section for what we call sections of the band. You have first, second, and third position. So that competition, sections of the band, is held on the night of Panorama. So it's mass, which is the glitter. You have steel pan, which is the steel, and mass is the glitter. So steel and glitter.
It's absolutely amazing. Now, I noticed something here as well, and you have to tell me a bit more. One of the components is Miss SVG.
Yeah.
Right? Is that something that takes place every year?
That's a pageant. Initially, many years ago, that show started in 1951. And not as Miss SVG, it was called Queen of Carnival, or Carnival Queen, as we used to say long ago. And then it got to a point where the show fell off. And then it was rebranded Miss SVG, and it started back as being part of the Carnival calendar, but not during the Carnival week. It was normally held like a month before. And then, you know, we examined certain things and we decided to push it, take it out of the Carnival period completely. Still organized by the CDC and the Beauty Shows Committee of the CDC. But it is now held in the month of October, which is during the month of Independence. So that is now a part of the Independence celebration, but it's still being organized. But it is organized by the CDC, but it's a pageant.
It's a part of it. Yeah. Well, when all is said and done, and I'm absolutely thrilled. Again, the website in itself is beautifully laid out, and there's so much information there.
Including the results.
Including the results. And what's so good as well, you even go to hotels if people need more information on even just booking or reserving for their stay in St. Vincent. Yeah. You've got the full event calendar as well.
Yes.
So, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean, that in itself says a lot. But tell the people who are viewing this morning why they need to come to St. Vincent June 20th to July 9th.
June 20th to July 9th. Yes. Because of the energy and vibe, it is also, well, one of the differences with Vincy Mass, I was to mention this when I spoke earlier on, your carnival, Monday and Tuesday in Trinidad, on the Monday you have an element of mass on the road. In St. Vincent, we don't have that. We have, for the Monday, we only have mass on Tuesday. But we have Juve Monday morning and T-shirt bands on Monday afternoons. Okay. And that in itself is a spectacle. You normally have one band attracting thousands of persons. They all wearing, for example, one band might be in, let's say, I don't want to call the name of a company, they might be in blue, another company in red, somebody has a different brand in black. So when you spot the band, you know exactly which brand, which company is on the road there. So that's one of the unique differences of Vincy Mass. Carnival Monday afternoon is T-shirt band. I would also like to mention safety. You can come to Vincy Mass and feel relatively safe, right? Yes, we have some crime situation like you have everywhere else, but these are not random situations where somebody just pick on a visitor and do them things. Persons mingle the lime in the day, they come out in the night, they party. We basically have we are very comfortable when it comes to that. Any patron can come out and feel comfortable. Also, affordability is another factor for Vincy Mass. I mean, a lot of persons are surprised when they hear the admission fees to some events and so on. The cost of playing mass in St. Vincent. You have mass bands that you can get to play mass in St. Vincent for as low as $500 EC. Okay? And,
wow, that's incredible.
Yes, yeah, 5, 7, 8, and then you move right up to like the $1,500, $1,800, $2,000, $2,500 EC, right? And these bands up on the higher end of the scale, they are the all-inclusive bands. Okay, so we have something for everyone, depends on what you're looking for and what you want to do. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are a multi-island destination. So we have that uniqueness about us, whereby on the mainland, because of the volcano, we have that volcanic soil, and we have black sand beaches as a result of that. In the Grenadines, we have multiple Grenadine islands. They all have white sand beaches. So we have that uniqueness where we offer black sand and white sand beaches within St. Vincent and the Grenadines. While there, for Carnival, there are things to be done during the day. You can take a ferry over to Beckway, one of the Grenadine islands, the closest one to the mainland. You can spend the entire day, come back in the afternoon, you go on the beach down there, you lime and so on, you come back in the afternoon and get ready for whatever party or show you're going to attend in the night. If you want to go further afield, you could cruise down to the Tobago Cays. Promoters do organize boat rides, catamaran cruises during the carnival where they have music and food and everything, all-inclusive stuff. And you can go down to Tobago Cays. Sometimes there are boat rides going down on the Leeward Coast, which is also quite beautiful and so forth. So there are so many things to do. You can hike the volcano, you can go to waterfalls, we have dark view waterfalls, etc. So a lot of things that you can cover within the time that you're there for Carnival. And for this year, you have the added bonus of being able to come to cricket right on the brink of Carnival.
Oh yes, it's just a lot all packed in. So it's going to be moments of just pure joy, bliss, and revelry, man.
Exactly. And in terms of persons thinking about getting to Vincy Mas, I checked the website of Caribbean Airlines 2 days ago, and they have airfares within the Carnival period. If you're coming for Vincy Mas, 310, 320, 325 thereabout, and that's the price that I've seen the last 2 days ago. Now, if you wait late, the price is going to be higher. But right now, you can get
I like this, you have a guest that came to promote events, and he did everything. He's even telling you the availability of flights and the price of flights. I think that's excellent.
Yeah, man, thanks. And also, I have to tell you about accessibility to St. Vincent as well. We have up to 2017, we didn't have an international airport, so visitors had to go through one of the other islands close by and then transfer over to St. Vincent. Now we have an international airport that opened in 2017, so accessibility has been improved significantly. We have a number of flights coming directly from various locations. We have Virgin Atlantic coming out of England. We have Air Canada doing the Canadian route. We have American doing out of Miami. We have Caribbean Airlines doing direct out of New York, JFK, and then you still have Caribbean Airlines that will be able to do Barbados, St. Vincent, Trinidad, St. Vincent, etc. So there are various options for people coming through New York to be able to get to Vincy Mas. In terms of accommodation, and let me see again, Caribbean Airlines, they were a sponsor last year. I want to give kudos to them. They will be on board again this year. So come on, people, book up your flights via Caribbean Airlines and let's get to Vincy Mas. In terms of accommodation, based on the number of persons who attend Vincy Mas from outside, returning nationals and persons who are non-nationals come to Vincy Mas. And we had a situation whereby we had bumper crowds last year and the accommodations were fully booked. Now we have a new hotel being opened in St. Vincent, Sandals Resorts. They will be opening next month, March, so that's it. We're ahead of the carnival. So now we have an extra couple of hundred rooms that's available. So you have that added room stock that we have at our disposal this year. So accommodation has been improved and we're happy for that. And then we still have another big hotel under construction that will be open later this year, hopefully, or early next year. So by next carnival, we'll be having extra rooms again.
Well, it's from the hottest carnival in the Caribbean to the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. Hey, Mr. Roberts, I want to thank you very much. And just to remind viewers that you can meet Mr. Roberts and to learn more about Vincy Mas, or even the opportunity to win a trip to Vincy Mas 2024, the booths at Brunch and Soak on Sunday and on Aripita Avenue.
And on Aripita Avenue. Look, calling all the Vincy Massive, all the Trinis, wherever you're from. We welcome everyone and all to check us at Brunch and Soca or on Aripita Avenue on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. And once again, the dates of Vincy Mas, June 28th to July 9th. And
for more information, and even in regards to finding hotels or accommodation, the results of last year, the events to come this year, you can visit vincymas.vc. Beautifully laid out and a lot of photos for you to just get an idea. But before we go, Mr. Roberts, we have just a preview, just a bit of a snippet of what people can expect from Vincy Mas. So take a look at this video.
me friends we like party hard, yeah.
Here is the WESN News on the hour. I am Sarah Ali. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Crime in TNT, a long-standing challenge. This according to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. 2 men arrested and firearms seized in San Juan. And internationally, Rio de Janeiro declared a health emergency following the spread of the dengue fever. Now for the details. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley addressed the persistent issue of crime in TNT, acknowledging its long-standing nature and the challenges successive governments have faced in addressing it. He highlighted the difficulty in finding effective leadership for the police service as a key obstacle. Speaking at a media briefing on national security at Whitehall, he referenced recommendations from a document titled A Manpower Audit in the Police Service, which was presented to Parliament on November 11, 2017.
Within 3 months of coming into office, to change the regulation and to put in place the requisite legal trigger so that the Police Service Commission could begin the process to appoint a commissioner of police. We did that. The Constitution says, not the Prime Minister, not the Cabinet, the Constitution puts in the hands of an independent Police Service Commission the power to interview people, to select people, and to recommend them to the Parliament in a particular way. So it doesn't matter how much you want the Prime Minister to do or say and how fast you want him to go, that is not within the remit of the Prime Minister. That is in the hands of the independent Police Service Commission. And let me say this,
2 men were arrested and 2 firearms seized following a police-involved shooting incident in the San Juan district. Officers were on mobile patrol around 5:30 p.m. on Monday, 5th February, when they stopped a red Nissan Almera motor vehicle with 2 male occupants. The officers allegedly observed one of the occupants lifting a firearm and, in keeping with the use of force policy, discharged several rounds in the direction of the threat. 2 suspects, ages 20 and 28, of San Juan and Arima, who were not injured in the incident, were arrested. Internationally, the authorities in the Brazilian city of Rio de Janeiro have declared a health emergency as they try to contain the spread of the dengue fever. The incidence of the mosquito-borne disease quadrupled in Brazil in January compared to the same month last year. Rio has registered 10,000 cases so far this year, compared to 23,000 for the whole of 2023. Dengue can cause fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle and joint pain, and a blotchy rash. Rio City Hall announced it would open 10 treatment centers for people with dengue. Well, that's it. News on the hour on WESN. I am Sarah Ali. Thank you for watching.
Yo, it's Rome! And this year we want to have a safe carnival just like every other carnival. So this year we're talking a smart carnival. We're talking safety measures against real threats. We're going to vet smart, we're going to play smart and move smart because it's all about rum, gal and money. Not that no call way, no time for folly. We jamming all day. Jamming on the roadway. If you see me in a Benz or a Beamer,
Hustle hard for me.
Join me, Dr. Nalini Kokram, on What's Up Doc, where we discuss all your burning questions concerning health.
Trinidad and Tobago is among one of the highest risk group of patients that develop this form of genetic breast cancer.
What I'd like to take home from a short interview like this, screening. You must screen.
Because it's silent.
It's silent.
Yeah.
And because it's silent, you don't know it's there.
What's Up Doc, every Tuesday and Thursday on WESN, Content Capital.
People really want to know, what about me? Where do I fit?
Yes.
What is in the ride for me in terms of a better Trinidad and Tobago? And I'm pleased to shed some light on that.
The purpose of bail is to ensure your attendance at court. That's it. It is not punitive, it is not rehabilitative.
We, the police officers, we are professional, and we are here for whenever the survivor is ready to come forward.
We have the right to private and family life, the right to religious freedoms and beliefs and thoughts and expression. But these rights are not absolute. Certain rights can be limited.
The law is to govern the whole, is for all of us in public.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Is it politics? What is it that nobody cares about sports?
The kind of support that sport used to get in the past is no longer here.
The thing is, taking a knee doesn't mean that that's the only thing you do in Andre.
Right.
Taking a knee along with other stuff.
Samantha, what are you looking forward to when you return home to Trinidad and Tobago after winning the title?
Thank you very much for speaking it into existence.
Is it no pressure on Nicholas Ball?
It makes me more motivated to work hard and to go out there and rep the red, white and black.
Why are we sending a team to the Winter Olympics?
There are a number of Trinbagonians who are in the diaspora and have grown up in winter sport. It's an opportunity that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee will not close the door on.
I also believe in the players that we have. Once you can motivate the players, you can get the best out of them.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
The newest book is here, Closer to the Church, the debut novel by author and former mayor Louis Lee Singh. Available at all the home store branches, Barataria, West Mall, Chaguanas and C3 San Fernando. Paper-based bookshop, 10 Nook Avenue, St. Anne's. WESN, 30A Gattaca Street, Woodbrook. Metropolitan Bookshop, Ariapita Avenue, Woodbrook, and all RIK bookstores nationwide. Available online as paperback on Amazon.com and Kindle for e-readers. For more info, call 628-5835 or 389-6504. Also available from author Louis Lee Singh, I Used to Live in Heaven, Letters to My Granddaughters, and Local Government in Trinidad, Conspiracy Against the People.
Every day, we communicate through stories. Stories of ourselves, our challenges, our goals, our experiences, and our aspirations. Storytelling is an art that we have mastered. WESN Film Studios comprises a collaborative team of experts with extensive industry experience locally, regionally, and internationally. The ability of your business to successfully communicate with your preferred audience depends on the strength of the stories you tell. Your vision should be communicated in a high-quality, professional, and creative way. From concept to post-production, advertising to film, multi-camera productions, live events, streaming, and virtual conferencing, we are WESN Film Studio. Let your own unique voice be heard and your vision realized. Call us today at 628-5835 for your next production.
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us this morning. It's Wild Wednesday. We're doing something a bit different this morning, though, because our furry guests that we usually welcome to the program, unfortunately, we're not too well behaved. So Ricardo put them in timeout, and therefore, instead, they're just watching it from the other end this morning. Ricardo Mead joins me in studio. Hello, Ricardo. Welcome back.
Good morning. Good morning. Great to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Absence. Great to see you.
Yes, yes. And we're joined by Natalie Mohammed. She's a volunteer at the center, and she's an individual who knows all too well about the furry little friends we're speaking about this morning. Hello, Natalie.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. So we're speaking about capuchin monkeys, and we're all very much familiar with capuchin monkeys. When we speak about monkeys in Trinidad, I think it's the red howler and the capuchin, the first that come to mind.
Right.
But the furry little friend and the capuchin, people know about it because these are the monkeys you tend to see as pets, or the man walking on the beach with the collar and leash around the monkey, following not too far behind him. Those are capuchin monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh, why do they seem so popular as pets, though? What is it with the fascination with capuchin monkey and pets?
Besides it appears to be nice and cuddly. Like all animals when they are juvenile, well, babies, they're nice. They're easy to handle, no teeth growth.
I like how you said they appear to be cute and cuddly. And you stressed on they appear to be cute and cuddly. They're not cute and cuddly, are they?
No, they're not. Like Ricardo. Ricardo appears to be cute and cuddly at times, but...
No. Can be vicious.
I don't know what time she's referring to. Ricardo and cute and cuddly.
Cute and cuddly. That words you normally associate with me, but no words that people associate with these animals because of the movies. Let's start off there. The movies, Aladdin, right? What was the name of the monkey in Aladdin?
Actually,
Babu or something like that?
Yes, yeah, Babu. Yeah.
Right. And there are so many references with monkeys and stuff like that there. It's crazy. So people, what they see on the screens is what they want in their lives. And they don't realize the problem. That's a snapshot, that's a moment, that's an occasion. It's not the real thing. And when they get the real thing, that's when problems begin.
Reality hits.
Now, we were having a bit of a story of air about how it even starts as reality. People give monkeys as gifts?
They do.
Yes.
Persons who are, they want a pet, but they want a pet that's unusual, not just a regular, typical dog or cat. They say, yeah, I see a monkey, it's nice, it's cute and cuddly. They think that they could interact with it, take it around, baby it, because some persons lack that sort of bonding. So they want an animal that they think that they can hold around and do whatever they want. But then when it turns juvenile, that's when the reality kicks in.
Now, you work with these monkeys all the time,
Yeah.
and you've had a lot of interactions, a lot of experience with these monkeys. Yes, they're very small. They do look cute and cuddly, but they're still wild animals, of course, and no matter how many times you've interacted with them, they're always going to remain wild animals.
Yeah, so hence the term wild animal. A lot of people fail to realize that besides being cute and cuddly from baby, when they turn adult and juvenile, they get aggressive. I interact with the animals throughout months, years, same animals with the center. And it doesn't matter, I still get bit, right? I have a lot of scars, stitches, wounds to show. And it's not that I am now interacting with this wild animal for the first time. They know me, I feed them, I interact with them, I handle them, and they still turn aggressive.
Ricardo, when I came to this center, I know that you guys had a few capuchin monkeys. Well, I guess you could say a troop of capuchin monkeys. But what was so amazing is that you had like double fencing. You did double fencing.
Yeah.
They're sneaky little creatures, aren't they?
Quite intelligent. So imagine something realistically that is 5 times stronger than a human for the weight.
Wait, what?
They're 5 times stronger than a human.
They're very strong.
That?
So for that, yes, that is land. Okay, if you were that small, you would be lifting probably half a sheet of paper or something like that for our body strength.
Yeah.
They can do amazing things, and they have opposable thumbs. Don't forget that. So their hands function the same way as ours. They also have the largest brain-to-body ratio of any mammal. So there's a lot going on up there. They're thinkers, they're analytical, they remember things, they process things.
Ricardo, just pause on that for one moment. This is astounding. We're going to take a break because I just need to digest what he's saying. When we come back, we're going to continue with them. I'm so sorry. My jaws are so dropped. We'll be right back after this.
Join me, Sule A. Joseph, as I delve into the day-to-day psychological issues plaguing our society. We will discuss behaviors that encompass the biological influences, social pressures, and environmental factors that affect how you think, act, and feel. Site, Thursdays at 11:30 a.m., only on WESN, Content Capital.
The issue, the continued rise in the price of flour and its impact on the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. How should we go about it? I want to ask you what has been revealed to you about the state of vulnerability in the country because of this exercise and because of what we're going through. Is the government losing the war on the vaccine front?
The discussion should revolve around the common good for the greatest number of people in Trinidad and Tobago.
How do we inculcate a sense of respect and regard for people who may not be of your own political ilk or persuasion?
The communities are now being used by political opportunists. So
when the tables are turned, it's the same way. Okay, this has been 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for staying with us. I needed a moment. I had to pause for a moment because Ricardo is just saying an incredible story. Ricardo, let's get back to that. What? Five times?
5 times the strength of a human.
This is a capuchin monkey, by the way, yeah?
And it is relative. Now remember, this animal is probably 3-4 kilos. We are dozens of kilos, 40, 50, 60, 70, and up like that. But if we were scaled down to that size, with our strength that we have, we would be absolute weaklings. They would take us and body slam us all over the place. That's how strong these animals are. But then also, remember also, when you scale down to, like, for example, the size of an ant, a bachak, a leaf-cutted ant, that thing that they're carrying weighs many times 7 and 8 times their body weight.
Yes, yeah.
So if you now weigh 200 pounds, you should be able to carry 1,400 pounds a ton. Just pick it up and walk with it, and we can't do that. So when we scale it and understand how strong even some of the small animals are, but this animal isn't that tiny, he has a little size there. And now when you put that now to interact with a human being, with your face, your limbs, in your home, they can do a lot of damage. And they do a lot of damage. They are absolutely horrible in a home environment. I had a friend in Florida, she built an enclosure for them adjacent to her home, and they ate the entire thing.
They ate all that she had in the enclosure?
Sheetrock and wood and vinyl. They ate it all. They destroyed it. Their fingers, they ripped up the tiles. You couldn't believe, you know. And when they got the tile up, they broke it and they used it to dig out the other tiles. They ate the sheetrock because they found it was kind of funny to do that and crumble and throw the dust. They are destructive beasts that should not really be kept the way they're kept. So the ones we have at the center, they have, I think it's a 12 gauge, a 12.5 gauge PVC coated chain link. And then we've come in with a half by half PVC coated rabbit wire on top of that.
Yeah.
Because to keep their hands from getting there, some people silly and would try to put things in there.
No, I know that at one point a couple of them were sticking their fingers out, and I was fascinated. I was like, cute and cuddly. And Donna, who was with me at that time, was like, do not put your finger there.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't put your finger there.
Because you wouldn't believe the force that they will grab your hand and pull.
And you've got the scars to prove it.
Yes.
So tell me about some of the experiences where you've more or less been bitten all over by a monkey.
I have practically been bitten all over. As I said, I have scars throughout my hands. Fresh ones, old ones. Had to get stitches. As I said just now, I have a piece of hair that's screwing right back here. See? So I had, they bit me, I had to get stitches. And this is a monkey that I interact with literally every day, morning, noon, night.
This is a monkey that knows you?
Knows me.
Wow.
We've been seen about for years, and so as I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter how much interaction you have with that. It's wild. They are wild animals. They are not domesticated, and they cannot be domesticated. You know, hence the reason why do not buy. Don't encourage buying.
Where through Trinidad and Tobago, where do you find these monkeys?
Well, forested areas, which are actually, we have to admit, are shrinking.
Yeah.
So that's creating a bit of a problem. I remember with the smelter project, many people approached me. There were areas down south where they would go and park up in the evening and hear or even see the howlers. Those areas were cleared. So those monkeys' habitats were destroyed, and they had to move on. And some people call and complain that they've seen monkeys more and coming right by the house and so on. So when you shift from one area, shift into another area, creating a sort of imbalance and a problem for those people. While the howlers are not aggressive, I mean, they do occasionally use fecal and urine to defend their territory. So they will pee and poop on you just to tell you this is our area, stay away from there. And so we had some of those conflicts going on because of our need for development. And but forested areas, so we only have 2 native species of monkeys. You know, it'll be a great time to show that if you have the clips for that.
Yeah, the native species.
Right, so we have a red howler monkey, which is considered one of the loudest animals in the forest. By the howl, they have a tremendous voice box, and when they howl.
White-fronted.
So yeah, this one is the white-fronted. This is the other, and this is our only type of capuchin that belongs in Trinidad. The white-fronted capuchin, that's the red howler right there. That was Zoe, that look there. The males can get quite powerful, quite large,
and that lovely sort of, you know,
Let's
sorrel
go back to
color.
that video one more time.
Right.
Well, you see, the thing is with the red howler, you said one of the loudest.
Yeah.
You hear this miles away.
Yes, and it's kind of refreshing to know that you can hear that here in Trinidad. But their territories are shrinking, and their numbers are shrinking because some people still hold on to one, killing them to eat them, killing them to use their voice box. It said if you drink from their voice box, it will cure asthma.
That is what? That is
That's the thing in Trinidad.
We believe a lot of weird stuff, don't we?
We believe a lot of crap, and then we point fingers at other cultures and say they're weird, right? Our lizard monkey eating people here in Trinidad look at the rat people in another country and say they're weird. Hold up that mirror, Trinidad and Tobago, and see what we are doing.
I know, forgive the look on my face. Whilst you guys may be aware of this, I was not entirely aware of this. I was down the islands. I'm hearing red howler monkeys. I'm asking the guy who's operating the boat, whoa, where are they? He says, don't even bother looking. They're miles away. You're just hearing them.
Yep.
But I didn't realize people believed in all these things where they would go kill the monkeys just for nonsense.
Have gun, will shoot. Part of the culture here in Trinidad and Tobago now.
Now, I know that you've gotten poop and pee thrown at you as part of defense as well?
In the wild, they tend to do that. So if you see a local red howler from a distance, they would try to defend or say, this is my territory. But personally, not on me. The ones that we've interacted with at the center, occasionally they would take their poop to strangers and they would throw it through the fence.
That is, whoa. The diet, primarily, what are their diets?
Persons who buy the illegal ones, they tend to give it sweets. I have no idea
Sweets?
why. Yeah. Cotton candy, chocolate.
Marshmallows and processed foods, creating more problems for themselves. Firstly, health problems within the animals whose body is meant to process whole foods. So you have partially processed food and the body does not know what to do with it. So you do get obesity, you get diabetes,
Same
and you
as
do
us.
get developmental problems from the coloring, same as in children, right? Then also the lack of proper nutrition, which is they're omnivores. A tremendous part of their diet is protein. So you get that protein from insects, reptiles, fish,
Birds.
mammals, and birds.
Eggs.
Right?
You know, you every week that you guys come here, you never cease to amaze me. What you're telling me this morning, people will actively and willingly give them the same nonsense that we as adults should not be eating.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's what they give their children now also. So you see the correlation and the problems with childhood obesity rising and also mental developmental problems because of the processed food and the colorings, which are very prominent in Western foods. Strangely enough, it isn't that so much in Europe, where they have banned a lot of addition of coloring to food. So that the federal red, yellow, and blue, those are proven to create mental issues and developmental issues in children. So now put that in a poor monkey, issues right there.
Natalie, off air, we were all speaking about how people actually go about trying to acquire these monkeys in the wild. What you told us off air, I want you to share with the viewers exactly how people, what they do to get just one baby capuchin monkey.
Okay, so think about it as if a mother has a child and somebody wants, it's like I'm walking in the street and I see a mother with a child and it's like, oh yeah, I want that baby is very cute and I want that baby. Do you think that the mother would willingly give me that child? No. So how am I going to get it? So me being a hunter now, I was like, yeah, I could make some money from that baby. I want that baby. So I go try to get it from the mother. But how am I going to get a baby monkey off the back of a mother monkey way at the top of a tree? What do you think?
Mother has to go.
Mother has to go. But how is she going to go? Because they're at the top of the tree. So you're going to shoot a mother monkey with the baby on its back. So two things.
The baby will fall with the mother.
Two things happens. The baby falls with the mother screams. So while the baby falls down to the ground and the mother falls as well, the mother is screaming, trying to defend herself still with the baby. As a troop, monkeys don't go on their own. they come with a troop. So when one come and next one come, he has to defend all of them just to get that one baby.
So in other words, he has to kill all of them to get that one baby.
Correct. Up to 10 to get one.
And then when you get that baby, remember, it falls from a tree. So when it falls from a tree, trauma, head trauma, all could have broken limbs. You don't know what could have happened. And then it's not in Trinidad. We're going to get it from South America.
Mm-hmm.
How is it going to come here? Plane?
No.
So they have to smuggle it in. And the conditions that they smuggle these animals into the country, it's really inhumane. It's, you wouldn't even want that for anything.
This is consistently ongoing. This is just...
Yeah. Right? Also, put this graphic in there. They've been smuggling. After the babies there is collected, they give somebody probably 5 or 10 US for it. They collect them together and have, that's what happens there. They have them together in a village tied around their waist and have the little kids in the village taking care of them, giving them sometimes stale milk and bread. Okay, instead of their mother's milk and bread. That is what's going on. That's a smuggling. That's what we are doing here in Trinidad and Tobago with these animals from South America. So you can look in the face and say it's so cute, but you can't look in the face and see the trauma that you would have caused and the damage and the blood that runs all the way. This is what happens in your house. Destroying people's homes. They get aggressive. Look at those teeth.
Yeah.
Canine.
Let's go back to that video again one more time.
So what people don't get also, so you have them in a cage, you put them in a wicker basket, for example, and they're smuggling over with all sorts of other contraband into Trinidad. See the baskets right there? Right? So they're coming over into Trinidad. And if they see a flashing light, say, for example, down south, and somebody says, "Hey, policia, policia, policia," they would unload their cargo.
Into the ocean.
Into the water.
Into the water. So this is not a guess. This is not an assumption. Many wicker baskets like that have been found on Columbus Bay, on the beach there, with dead monkeys, dead parrots, dead finches, all sorts of things coming. They throw that into the water. To try to protect themselves and lessen their charges of smuggling and so on. Now, if the way I was told drugs and illegal guns are packaged, they survive the water because you just have to vacuum seal it. You can't vacuum seal the monkeys.
No.
So they die, and you just see it rolling in the surf and you find them there. The same way that a few months back they found thousands of cocaine packages all over, and people in a particular village were having a time. And then it started a whole murder thing, because if someone had 10 and you had 2 and you wanted this 10, the only way to get them was, it had a whole sort of madness was going on in a village down on the southeast coast of Trinidad because of that. So this is a reality. This is part of what's fueling the crime and all of that. It's all a part of it. It's one boat.
Yeah, they need to understand that if you don't buy, then there will not be a demand, then it will stop, because this is inhumane, and it's continuing because people are continuing to buy. And then they lack the knowledge of knowing what happens when they turn juvenile, and juvenile is 3 years, our 3 years. And when they turn juvenile, it doesn't matter if you had it, your baby in it, they bite. They get aggressive and they bite, and that is when...
I mean, I'd be aggressive too if somebody puts me in a cage.
At that point in time is when they say, "Oh, this monkey biting, I cannot deal with this monkey," and then they go to release it into our ecosystem.
Creating further problems.
Yeah.
So it's from the start to the very end, it's fraught with problems. And it's not simple problems. Some of the invasive animals are, I wouldn't say simple problems, but are much less in your face. These create tremendous issues. There's hardly a day that goes by but my phone doesn't ring. I don't know if you call the right people, but there's a monkey on our roof. East, west, north, south, all of them illegal monkeys. Our capuchin monkey, the white-fronted capuchin, the numbers are believed to be under 250.
Wait, what?
The one that you saw in the video, in the picture, less than 250. Because remember, you have to understand, Trinidad is separated from the mainland. Mammals would not have the ability to swim across the water to have the genetic diversity. So our animals that remain trapped on our little rock here called Trinidad would have had a smaller genetic pool and would have developed quite differently. So our white-fronted capuchin is being given a separate classification, a separate, a subspecies, because it can be found nowhere else. Same way as our anteater can be found nowhere else. Our ocelot can be found nowhere else. So we have some special things here, and our problem is we don't respect and appreciate it. So we out there beating the drum, waving flags, trying to tell people we have amazing stuff here that is ours. It's as Trini as a Trini could ever be a Trini, and you all don't appreciate it, and you're all doing things to destroy it.
Every week, you know, you guys come, you guys bring animals, you educate people. This week was a bit different. We didn't have animals on set, and rightfully so. You can't bring those monkeys on set. Just basically what you all have described. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Even if they were caged, we're not going to, because you know what they're going to say first? Look, you have this in a cage.
Yeah,
I can do that too.
Exactly.
So
No
that's
matter
why we
what
don't do
you
that.
say,
Yeah.
because they're going to see them in the cage.
Correct.
They're going to say, you know what? No, look, you're doing it. I'm going to do it. And it is heartbreaking, and it's frustrating, and it's angering me as the host sitting down, you know, as a nature lover and enthusiast, what you all are telling me. And the mere fact is, you all have to go through this because this is what you all do. This is your job. This is, you're trying to really save what TNT has and what TNT has to offer. So though it's frustrating and very hurtful, I'm really pleased that you guys were able to come and share these stories and these experiences and tell us exactly what's going on in TNT, especially in regards to this illegal smuggling. They just throw the basket overboard. I can't.
Yeah.
That is.
Put it for every animal, it's an additional charge. So you have to unload as much contraband as possible to minimize your charge and just hold your net up and say, hey, we're just fishing or whatever it
And the
is.
sad thing is, it's if you are in possession of an illegal animal, such as the monkeys, it's a $5,000 charge. It's not a lot.
Yeah, that's not going to deter people.
Yeah.
That's
So
not
they
gonna
need
deter
to do something about that.
Even if they are to be fined in any case, if they are to be caught in any case. Natalie, before we go, as I said, you work with these monkeys all the time, and still, you know, you face the difficulties and the hard parts of dealing with them. Just share your final thoughts and messages with the viewing public.
My final thoughts is, please stop the illegal pet trade. If you don't buy, there will not be a demand, and we will eventually eradicate this whole thing. Right? They are not nice, they are not cuddly, they bite, and I have a lot of scars to prove. Sometimes I have on my face, I have on my hands all the time. When people look at my hands, it's like, oh my God. But it's monkeys, and it's because I interact with them, and it's because these monkeys didn't ask for the life that they had. This is the life that was given to them, and it's not their fault. Even up to last week, Diego Martin, they had a monkey on the loose for a while causing havoc.
I saw that video. Jumping on people's roofs and
And this is what happens. It goes and they're not from here, and it's not their fault, and they're scared, and they're just trying to get food. So please stop this buying, stop encouraging this illegal pet trade.
Ricardo, you know, thanks for coming on this morning. Yeah. But all these stories and experiences, wow.
Yeah, always, you know, and one thing to understand, people like, no, I could do it, I could do it, I could do it. You get a monkey now, 45 years. That's your sentence. That's a monkey's life sentence. They'll live for 45 years. Have you planned? You even plan what you're doing next year. But you're going to go and keep this animal, a sentient being that was trapped, that is wild, that will always be wild, for 45 years. People, come on, think. Think about it. Make better decisions. Let's stop the illegal wildlife trade, especially these monkeys that are suffering. And at the end of the day, many will have to be put down.
Sad reality.
It's a sad reality. It's really distressing. But that last video in particular, I'm going to close the show this morning by asking my directors just to play the non-native species video for people to have an idea just one more time as we close. So Ricardo, Natalie, thanks so much for joining me on the program this morning.
As usual.
And really, it's a different Wild Wednesday, but it's needed, it's necessary. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to stress this message once more, as I close, I wish you a good day, but take a look at what we're doing, to what nature has given us, to our furry friends and creatures, what we're destroying. As we conclude, we leave you with this.